Good afternoon, friends. This is Regina Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy. And this afternoon, I have the pleasure of interviewing a brand new author, Eric Nelson. Eric has just published his first book entitled Closed, The No BS Approach to Sales. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's awesome to have this opportunity to interview you. So I wanted to take this time to find out a little bit more about your book, about what led you to write this book, and what you hope that it will provide for others. So let's just dive right in. Will you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Eric, and kind of what brought you to this place in your life where you decided it was important to write a book?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. Well, I've sort of been in sales all of my life. I got started really as a child actor, not the movie star child actor, but I started with plays in high school and some in college, and did some movies and some TV shows. I was a zombie hunter in a music video, believe it or not. It was a lot of fun. And it really sparked my interest of talking to people, being on stage, performing. And once I graduated college, I was trying to figure out, well, what do I want to do? What am I good at? Well, I'm great at talking to people. I'm great at speaking, and really got my first sales gig right out of college. And I had just commissioned as an Army officer as well. And so I had almost two different sides of the spectrum, the discipline, take orders, and then the very creative sales people side of that. And I feel that makes my journey fairly unique because there's not a lot of people in the military that are in sales. And
that's probably true.
And so I got my start selling insurance through a company called New York Life, selling just straight life insurance, and became number one in my office. Didn't really know how I did it because there really wasn't any sales training, and I've done different sales jobs over the years as well. And one thing that I found is that a lot of companies are really good at giving you the product knowledge and teaching you what the product is. They just don't tell you or teach you how to sell it. And when I was going on my journey to create my sales consultancy, Red Pill Sales, I did about a year of research and interviewing different people in the sales industry and asking them, what's your experience like with the sales training that you've experienced at your company? Do they even offer it? What's the quality of it? What have you learned? And over again, I got, well, I know everything there is to know about my product. They just don't teach us how to sell it. And I found that really interesting because that was an experience that I had experienced myself. I just wasn't sure that everyone else had experienced something similar. And when I was going through all of that, talking to people, I was like, well, I should change that. I should, provide a solution for people to get quality, effective, ethical sales training. And also in my process of research, I found out that there was quite a number of so-called internet gurus that have already caught wind of that trend, the lack of sales training available, and have really marketed themselves as experts in the field. And I took a couple of their courses just to see what's out there. What are they teaching? What are they advocating? And I really found out that they're taking advantage of the ignorance of the masses, unfortunately. A lot of the information they're giving is very damaging, and it's unethical. Because a lot of the things that the internet gurus teach, and I don't want to bash on anyone or talk negatively about anyone, but what a lot of them teach is very short-term sales tactics and manipulation strategies. That's great if you just want to make a quick buck and you don't really care about your reputation. But if you're trying to make a career out of sales and you want this something that you're going to do for the rest of your life, you want to be able to build a relationship, and you want to be able to sell from the prospect side of the table. They don't want someone that's just a pushy salesperson trying to push their own agenda.
I like that term, sell from the prospect side of the table. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah. So the way that I teach sales is from the client's perspective. How do you want to be sold to? You don't want someone approaching you with, pressure, 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 sell, sell, sell. I'm going to get this deal done at any cost.
Right.
That turns people off, and the modern day client is very well educated. They probably know more about the product that they're looking to buy than the person selling it.
True.
So, you go into any car dealership, for example, well, that person knows exactly the features, the benefits, do they want it in red, white, or blue? They know,
right.
They know more about the stats of that vehicle than the person selling that vehicle. And really, it's more of a consultative sale at that point. Yes, the salesperson has to make their quota, but at what cost?
Right. So I always tell my, when I'm training in that area, I always talk about that buyer's journey that folks are on today, where they're gathering all that information because it's so readily available to us. The internet has changed everything about sales. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You look 20, 30 years ago, using car sales as an example, because it's easy.
Right.
That, the guy selling the car knew everything there was about the car, and he could really say whatever he wanted, and the customer wouldn't know any different.
Right.
And it's not that way anymore, no matter what industry, whether you're selling pharmaceuticals, high tech, cars, roofs, anything.
Right. Right.
So
in order not to become an order taker, for that salesman not to become an order taker, what does he have to do?
So in order for the salesperson to not be an order taker, is you really have to ask a lot of questions. It's really about discovery.
Okay.
So it's about finding what are the pain points of that person, of that prospect. That prospect set an appointment with you. They set a meeting with you because they have some level of pain, whether that be surface pain, whether that be business financial pain, or whether that be personal pain. It's really the salesperson's job to uncover what the pain is. Once you are able to uncover the pain that a person's experiencing, then you can really find a solution tailored to that individual's needs.
Very good. One of the things I like about the foreword of your book is how you talk about, I think it's in the foreword, or maybe it's in the description, but you talk about how sales is a function of so many elements of life, and that, that you're always selling in something. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Everything in life breaks down to two different things: sales and marketing. Marketing to get the eyeballs, sales to move the eyeballs.
Define that, what you mean by eyeballs.
Sure. So let's say for example, you're a single person and you're in the dating pool. Well, you fill out something, say, Plenty of Fish or Tinder or Match.com. Well, what you're doing is you're marketing yourself to potential members of either the same sex or the opposite sex, whatever you're into.
Right.
That's marketing. You're trying to get eyeballs onto your profile so that they see you, so that hopefully you make a match.
Right.
Once you bring in those eyeballs and you start making a connection, you send out an email, and now your marketing is done. Now you're trying to sell that individual on going out on a date with you, meeting up.
Okay.
You're selling them on the fact that you're someone worth spending time with, that you're someone worth getting to know.
So you're saying in effect that sales picks up where marketing leaves off.
Correct. They're tied together.
Right.
You
Right.
can't have one without the other. You know, if
Right.
you don't have any eyeballs,
You don't make any sales if you don't have
yeah,
any
yeah,
eyeballs, right?
yeah. And I made a YouTube video the other day, and it talks about, you know, always be closing. You know, ABC, the acronym ABC. You
Right.
know, we've all heard it. We've all
Yeah.
seen, you know, Glengarry, Glenn Ross, Alec Baldwin talking about that. But what people miss with always be closing is they automatically think, you know, the hard sell, the push, push, push.
Right.
But what always be closing means is from the very first words out of your mouth, you are closing the person on the fact that you are someone worth listening to,
Mm,
that your product is something worth paying attention to,
right.
that your company is a company that's ethical, upstanding, that if you have an issue, they're going to be right there to solve that problem for you and address
Right.
that issue. It's
Right.
not just a wham bam, you know, make the deal and then, you know, head out of town.
Right. Right. Yeah. We have a reputation that we want to create a positive reputation that
Absolutely.
client is going to further foster as they tell other people about the great experience they've had with you. Right.
Absolutely.
And if you're being pushy, that's not the case.
Right.
They're going to turn others off to you.
Right. Because it's all about relationship building.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, what does it mean to you, Eric, to have been able to bring all of this together in a book and share it with the world? And you know, what does that mean to you to be able to do that?
So it really means everything to me. Just because everything in life is a sale, like I was saying in the beginning. And really learning sales is the skill that has the greatest ROI of really any skill that you can learn. Because
ROI being a return on investment.
return on investment, correct. Yeah, sales has the greatest return on investment of any skill that you can possibly learn. Because if you know how to sell, you could go bankrupt tomorrow, lose everything, be on the street under a bridge. But if you know how to sell, you're going to be able to crawl your way back up and be better off than you were pre-bankruptcy.
It's a great skill to have.
Very, very few other skills have that ability to take you from, you know, hero to zero back up to hero again.
Right. Right. Very good. What do you hope then, along that line, what are you hoping that your readers come away from that book with? What do you hope that impact is on them?
Sure. I really want others to know and to learn that sales is truly a noble profession. You know, for so long, sales has had such a negative reputation of the sleazy, the hardcore closer that's going to close the deal no matter what.
Right.
And what I advocate is that you don't need manipulation tactics. You don't need pushy sales tactics or manipulation to get a deal closed.
Right. Yeah. You can, and I loved in the beginning when you were first speaking, you also talked about it being ethical. Mm-hmm. And there were a few other adjectives you used there, but that really stuck out to me. To you know that you're doing this in an ethical manner, and with integrity, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I have 5 tenets that I run my business off of, which is integrity, kindness, openness, honesty, and respect.
Very good.
You know, and the reason I chose those 5, integrity, everything that you do is either improving your reputation or damaging your reputation.
True.
And that's the integrity. You know, kindness is very overrated right now. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, well, I'm just going to do whatever I can do to get this deal done.
Mm-hmm.
being kind is just ROI positive, no matter what way you look at it. And openness, being vulnerable with your client, because if you're diving deep into your client's pain points, what's really going on with them, you have to be able to be vulnerable and open right there with them.
Right.
If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be selling them anything.
Right. And of course, you enhance the relationship with that openness and that transparency, and
absolutely,
they see you as truly another human being who
right.
understands more of what they're going through, right, or what they're experiencing, or what their problem is.
Absolutely.
How would you say that the knowledge that you have in this book, how would you say that acquiring that knowledge and implementing it in your life has changed your life?
It has been the change in my life. It's funny, when I first got into sales right out of college, and I got into sales a lot of the ways that other guys discover sales is, trying to find ways to, attract girls, and, struggling with that, being able to, all right, well, what's the magic trick here? Yes, I have confidence, but what else am I missing? And a lot of guys, they'll read the books on, the pickup artists, or follow the relationship gurus on YouTube.
Right.
And the more I got into that, the more I realized what they're doing is they're selling. And it's like, I mean, it's, different tactics that they're using that, could be good in sales, depending on what side of the fence you're on is that ethical, is that not? Really, how this has changed my life and benefited me is, I've always been in sales, and I really went from almost intuitively knowing how to sell to actually studying how to sell. Because I didn't receive any sales training when I first started out selling insurance, selling roofs, selling
right.
cars. I've sold almost everything under the sun at one point, and never got any sales training. I learned all sorts of things about the products I was selling.
Right.
But it was really up to me to learn all the different sales strategies, techniques, how to talk to people, how to ask the right questions. And there's a good quote out there that's, amateurs study what to say, and experts study how to say it.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And I know that, from our previous conversations, I know what a difference it's made, that these tools and getting this knowledge has made in your personal business, that you've seen dramatic growth in your own sales and your business that you run, correct?
Absolutely. Before I started Red Pill Sales, I sold health insurance. I had my own health insurance agency, and I had a team underneath me that I trained. And when I really started to implement what I teach, I noticed that, really the first year that I started to really implement this and really push towards practicing what I'm preaching, my business went up 300%.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now I know that this book is not that you have Red Pill Sales, and this book is just, a part of what you're doing there. Why don't you share with our listeners a little bit more of what Red Pill Sales does? What are some of the things that you do in Red Pill Sales?
Sure. So Red Pill Sales is really a sales consultancy and training organization. So I have my book, Closed with an OBS Approach to Sales. That's really the first step in my organization. I also have a sales masterclass online. That's going to be available the first week of April. And that's the Red Pill Sales Masterclass. That's going to give you the tools that you need in order to be successful in sales. So the actual online course is your 1,000-foot view of, and what's also attached to that course is a private Facebook group that I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives every single week. And other people in the class are going to be able to ask me questions, have some one-on-one time. And we're really going to go from the macro to the micro and really get those questions asked that people have. Go into the nitty-gritty details. How do I say this? How do I say that? How do I do my tonality differently? And I've also partnered with a guy named Tyson Sharp, who's actually a mindset coach. And one thing that I've learned over the years in sales is that it's really 90% mindset and about 10% skill. Because I could give you the best sales script and hold your hand the entire time, but if your mindset's not there, you're not going to close a single deal.
True. Very true. Am I correct in saying that you also work one-on-one with salespeople as well as with, say, agency owners or whatever who have a team of salespeople that you'll work with that team? Is that correct? Can you talk to us about what you do?
Yes. So I'm available to do individual one-on-one coaching. You can, if you're interested in individual one-on-one coaching or sales team training, I'm available at my email at ericnelson@redpillsales.com.
Excellent.
The link will be in the notes. And I can do individual coaching. Find out what are your sticking points, what are your pain points, what's not working, and then just tweak the dials just a little bit. Sometimes it's just a little tweak to really take you from mediocre to superstar.
Right.
And I can do the same thing with a small organization, say 5 to 100 salespeople organization, and really find out, why isn't your sales team producing?
Very good. Now, I know you've also partnered with someone else in this work, and that is a company out of California called Rembrandt Advantage. Yes. That has a wonderful personality profile called the Rembrandt Portrait. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit and how that benefits your clients or your potential clients?
Yes. So I've partnered with Rembrandt Advantage through Dr. Michael Santo. And the Rembrandt Advantage is really my way of knowing your sales team better than you've ever known your sales team. So it's really be able to go in depth, find out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your sticking points as an individual contributor, and then really being able to hone in on, well, these are your strengths, and let's essentially put your strengths on steroids,
right,
and really train you up to emphasize those strengths as an individual and minimize your weaknesses.
Very good. And the Rembrandt Portrait is also a great tool for hiring. It's a well-validated tool for hiring. So, so oftentimes when we hire someone, and I was in the staffing industry for a number of years, so certainly understand hiring. But so oftentimes when we hire someone, we rely on the resume, we rely on that interview, and the Rembrandt Portrait, making that a part of your hiring decision, allows you to now see beyond that surface. It is 80 plus 90+% predictive of success on the job. So when an employer adds that to their hiring process, then they dramatically improve the success in their hiring rate in terms of people being successful on the job. But it also doesn't have to just be in the hiring. It can be the people you already have on board if you want that better understanding. As you said, that you can understand their team better than they can because you have that tool. So, and it's also true that there's a link in your book for people to be able to go take that profile, right?
Yes, yes. There's a link in the book and on my website.
Excellent, excellent. So, Eric, do you have any other last minute comments that you'd like to make? Anything else you'd like to share with our listeners that will help them understand why it'd be a great thing for them to go out and get your book, which, by the way, is on sale for the Kindle version for 99 cents right now. So you can't beat that deal.
Yeah, 99 cents. That's less than a cup of coffee or less than a Snickers bar.
There you go.
And you're gonna get $1 million of value for less than $1. I don't think there's any greater deal out there. And you're also going to get access to my public Facebook groups, Red Pill Sales and Sales Entertainment, as well as access to the Rembrandt Advantage, as well as my YouTube channel.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Eric, it's been a delight having you here today. And would you give your contact information again, just so if any of our listeners want to reach out to you, they know how to do that?
Absolutely. My website is www.redpillsales.com, and my email address is ericnelson@redpillsales.com.
Very
you can
good.
also find me on LinkedIn. Just type in my name, Eric Nelson, or type in Red Pill Sales. And you can also find me on Facebook and YouTube.
Very good. Well, it has been a pleasure visiting with you this afternoon, Eric, and we wish you the best on this book. And folks, I've had the opportunity to read this book about, I don't know, 3-4 times now, maybe. And I learn something from it each time I go through it. And so if sales is either your field right now or something you're looking at, I encourage you to pick up Eric's book. Do so now while it's 99 cents. It's called Closed, C-L-O-S-E-D, Closed, the No BS Approach to Sales. You won't regret it. That's 99 cents well spent. And while you're there, when you pick that up, after you've read a little bit of that, would you do us the favor, do Eric the favor of going out and putting a review on the site on Amazon? We would really appreciate that. And that's where you can find the book right now, is on Amazon. Closed, the No BS Approach to Sales. Thanks for listening today, folks. We appreciate you. Let us know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.